If you're watching this video, you're probably staring at a pile of debts and wondering how you're ever going to dig yourself out. Maybe you've got credit cards that feel like they're multiplying in the night, or student loans that seem like they're going to follow you forever. I've been there. I can hardly remember college anymore, but my loans haven't forgotten me. They're so nice like that. My wife and I filed for bankruptcy back when our first kid was just 15 months old. We moved in with my parents and slept on an air mattress in their basement. So when I say that I understand what you're going through, I really mean it. And I'm still on the journey too. But here's the thing, there is a way out. It might be slow and it definitely takes work, but it's absolutely possible. This spreadsheet is going to help you see exactly where you stand right now and help you create a plan to move forward so that you can make it to being completely debt-free. All right, so let's open this thing up and I'll walk you through exactly how it works. When you first open the spreadsheet, you'll land on the Intro tab. That's a quick reminder of what we're going to be covering in this video. So let's click over to the State My Situation tab. This is where you need to be completely honest with yourself. And I know that's scary. When we were drowning in debt, I really wanted to ignore it and hope that it would go away. But as a very smart K-pop demon hunter once said, we can't fix it if we never face it. So here's what you're going to enter for each debt. First, give it a name. Whatever helps you remember what it is. I've got boring names here, but you can name yours something like the retail therapy card, the never-ending student loan, the midlife crisis car. Just make it clear to you. Next, enter the current balance. This is what you actually owe right now, today. I know it's painful to see, but go find the real numbers so that you know what you're dealing with. Then the interest rate, again, this is probably higher than you want it to be, and then the minimum payment. That's the least amount they'll accept without getting angry and charging you fees. And then finally, when is it due? Just enter the next due date coming up. There's also a column here for monthly fees. Most people can ignore this completely. It's only if you have some kind of a fee on top of your interest. I had someone email me whose credit card charged them a $20 maintenance fee every month just for having the card open. Hopefully you don't have loans with mean people like that, but if you do, this is where you put it. Now watch what happened over here on the right. The spreadsheet is adding up all your minimum payments to show you the absolute least amount you need to pay every month just to stay out of trouble. In this example, that's $140 a month in the minimum payments. But here's the part that changes things. Below that, there's a spot to enter how much extra you can put towards debt each month. Maybe it's only $20, maybe you can squeeze out $100. Whatever it is, be honest about what you can actually do, not what you wish you could do. In my example here, I'm saying I can do $60 extra. So my total debt payment is $200 a month. One quick thing before we move on, see this currency option? Since we have people using this all over the world, you can change it to match whatever currency you use, whether it's pounds or euros or pesos, whatever you need. Now that you've got the hard part done, let's see what kind of hope the spreadsheet can bring you. Click on the Plan tab next. All you need to do in this whole section is pick your method. Lowest balance first or highest interest first. That's it. They're also called the Snowball or the Avalanche methods. Right now it's on the Snowball method. That means it organizes your debts and tells you to pay off the one with the lowest balance first. Along the top, you can see how long each step is going to take. So with debt 1, I'm throwing $95 a month at it. That's the $35 minimum plus my $60 in extra. And the spreadsheet says that'll take 5 months to completely wipe it out. Then once debt 1 is gone, I'll take that full $95 I was paying towards it and add it to the minimum payment of the next debt on the list, which in this case is debt 3. Now I'm putting $130 a month towards that one. See how that snowballs and gets bigger? That's how the Snowball and the Avalanche methods work. You focus all your money on one debt at a time while you make the minimum payments on the rest. The Snowball method says to start, like I said, with your lowest balance first. It's all about those quick wins and keeping you motivated. You might pay off that $200 medical bill in just a month or two, and suddenly you feel like you can actually do this thing. The Avalanche method says to start with your highest interest rate first. Mathematically, it saves you the most money. If you've got a credit card charging you 30% interest, the Avalanche method wants you to get rid of that one first. Both methods work, both will get you to the same place of being debt-free, which is what this top section shows you right here. Your debt-free date, July 2027. Mark that on your calendar, put it on your fridge. That's your Independence Day. In this example, it's 25 months away. And check this out. The spreadsheet also shows you what happens if you only make minimum payments. In this case, you'd be paying for 5 more years and throw away more than $500 in interest charges. So that extra $60 every month, it's buying you back years of your life. When you have your own numbers in here, check this part out. It's amazing how much even a little bit helps. Let me switch to the Avalanche method real quick to show you the difference. You can see that the order changes because now we're going after the highest interest rate first. The timeline is almost the same. It saves a tiny bit more money. For this particular example, the difference is pretty small. So honestly, I'd probably go with the Snowball method just for those psychological wins early on. Now, a quick note about the amounts in each step. They're simplified to make it easy to understand your path going forward. If you add them up, they won't exactly match your total debt because they don't include all of the details. If you want to see all of those calculations, check out the Nerdy Plan Facts tab. This is for those of you who really love numbers and want to see every penny mapped out. It shows month by month exactly what's happening with your payments, interest, balances. You can see how the interest adds up, how your payments are applied, and exactly how the math works out. Most people don't need this level of detail. It's kind of confusing. The Plan tab gives you everything you need to know. So if you're someone who likes to verify the math or just wants to understand what's happening behind the scenes, it's all here for you. The plan is great, but remember, it's assuming everything goes perfectly for a long time, and life just doesn't work that way. Your car won't care if you have a debt payoff plan when it decides you need new tires. Your kid won't check your budget before they get hurt at soccer practice. The plan is your roadmap, but you're going to have to take some detours. So let me switch this to the lowest balance first, and then we can go to the tab that actually can handle all of these detours, the tracking tab. This is where you're going to spend most of your time. This is where real life happens. At the very top, you've got your key numbers, your debt-free date, that July 2027 that we saw earlier, and your starting debt total. As you make payments month after month, these numbers will update to show whether you're ahead of schedule or falling behind. Right below that is your total progress bar. Right now it's empty because we haven't started yet, but every payment you make fills it up a little bit more. It's like a video game progress bar, except instead of defeating a boss, you're defeating debt. Each individual debt gets its own section with its own progress bar too. The spreadsheet lists them in the order that you should pay them off based on the plan that you picked. So if you chose Snowball, your smallest debt is here on the left. And if you choose Avalanche, your highest interest rate is here. Now let me show you how this works month by month. Let's say July rolls around and according to my plan, $95 goes to debt 1. So I make that payment and I enter 95 right here. Now, really important point, the spreadsheet is really smart, but it's not psychic. It doesn't know exactly how your particular credit card company or loan servicer calculates interest. Some compound it daily, some do it monthly, some do weird things with grace periods. So after you make your payment, you need to go check your account and see what the new balance really is. Let's say in this example that I check my account and after my $95 payment, the balance is now $355. So I enter that here in the new balance column. And look at that, the progress bar for this debt jumped to 21%, and my overall progress shows I'm 2% of the way to being completely debt-free. I know 2% doesn't sound like much. When I first started paying off our debts, seeing such a small dent in the total was actually kind of depressing. But here's what I learned. Every single payment matters. Every payment gets you closer, you're not stuck anymore, you're moving forward, and it's okay if it's a slow pace. It was slow for me too. Now let me make the minimum payments on the other debts. For each one, I enter what I paid, which was just the minimum amount. Then I go and check the real balance, and I enter that too. Notice how some of these balances didn't go down as much as what I paid. That's interest doing its work. But we expected that, and the spreadsheet knew what would happen, so we're still on track. Every month, you come back here and go through these same steps. Enter what you paid, enter the new balances, and watch your debt get smaller. The tracking tab is flexible in a way that your original plan can't be. Maybe one month you decide to attack a different debt than what the plan suggests because it's stressing you out more. That's fine. Just enter your actual payments here and the new balance. Detours happen, and that's okay. Just keep tracking your real progress. When you finally pay something off completely and the balance hits zero, like this, that progress bar fills up to 100%, and it stays there as a reminder of what you've accomplished. You don't need to go back and change anything in the other tabs. Just leave it right here as encouragement. Before we move on to some of the questions that I see a lot, let me quickly show you the last tab called Next Steps. Here's the thing. Paying off debt is a great goal, and a budget is what keeps you from adding new debt while you're paying off the old stuff. We have our own budgeting system called the Happy Giraffe Budget. It's specifically designed for people who haven't had the best experience with budgeting so far. We have a free app and a free spreadsheet with videos to walk you through it, just like this one. Long term, it's important that you spend less than you earn. That's how you have money to put toward debt. That's how you avoid adding new debt. And that's how you stay debt-free once you get there. Now let me answer some of the questions I see all the time. These come from real people who have emailed me while using this spreadsheet. So if you're wondering about any of these things, you're not alone. First question, I've got a credit card with 0% interest for the next 12 months. How do I handle that? Oh, promotional rates. They are great until they're not. Here's my trick for handling these. You take whatever you owe on that card and divide it by the number of months left in your promotional period. Then you use that as your minimum payment. So let me go back over to the State My Situation tab and show you what that would look like. Let's say you owe $1,200 and you've got 12 months of 0% interest left. Divide 1,200 by 12 and you get $100. Leave the interest rate and put $100 as your minimum payment. This way, the spreadsheet plan makes sure you've got it paid off before that promotional rate expires and you get hit with all of the extra fees and interest. Most of the time, they'll hit you with interest on the entire original balance, not just what's left. So you definitely want to have it paid off by that deadline. Question 2, what if I get extra money and want to make multiple payments in 1 month? That happens sometimes. Maybe you get your tax refund, your grandma sends you birthday money, or you just have a good financial week. In the tracking tab, when you need to enter multiple payments, just double click into the cell, type an equal sign, and then that will add your payments together. So if your regular payment was $95 and you threw an extra $50 at it, you'd type equals 95 plus 50. When you hit enter, Excel does the math for you and it shows $145. Then just check your actual balance after that second payment, delete what you had for your original balance, and enter the new amount. The spreadsheet handles it perfectly. Your progress bar will take a nice big jump that month too. Question 3, an emergency happened and I had to use my credit card. The balance went up instead of down. Did I just ruin everything? First of all, no, you didn't ruin everything. Life happens. Cars break, kids get sick, water heaters decide to stop water heating. Sometimes you have to use credit cards when you don't have a good emergency fund built up yet. That's reality. Here's what you do. Make whatever payment you can that month, even if it's just the minimum. And when you check your balance, it might be higher than last month. That's okay. Enter the real number, even if it hurts to type it. So in this example, I'll enter $35 for the payment I made. Then I'll look at the new balance I owe and put that here. So let's say I owe $2,500 now. The spreadsheet will show negative progress for that debt. Your overall progress might go backwards a little. Your debt-free date might push out a few months, but you know what? You're still in the game. You just had a setback, not a complete failure. When we were paying off our minivan, we had several months where we couldn't make the payment like we wanted to. It felt awful at the time, but we kept going, and eventually we got there, and you will too. Question 4, I don't want to follow the exact order the spreadsheet suggests. Is that okay? Absolutely. The plan gives you a mathematically sound approach, but math doesn't pay your bills. You do. The tracking tab is completely flexible. You can pay your debts in whatever order makes sense for your life. So maybe you've got a small debt to a family member that's causing tension at Sunday dinners. Pay that one first, even if the math says otherwise. Maybe you've got a credit card that's driving you crazy with fees and notices. Focus on that one instead. Just track whatever you actually do in the spreadsheet and it will show your progress. The plan is just a suggestion. Your real life matters more than perfect math. Question 5. I already started paying off debts before I found your spreadsheet. Can I still use it? Yes, you can. Just enter your debts the way they are right now, today. Don't worry if the plan tells you to pay off your debts in a different order. You can take its advice or you can just keep doing what you're doing. Track your payments in the tracking tab from this point on, and you'll be able to see yourself getting closer and closer to being debt-free. Question 6. I need to add a new debt after I've already been tracking for months. What do I do? Okay, this is a tricky one. You can go back to the State My Situation tab and add a new debt. Let me show what that would look like here. And now if we go over to the Plan tab, it will recalculate and it might change the order of your debts. So now we have new debt being first. The reason that's a problem is that when you add a new debt, the headers on the Tracking tab are going to reorganize to match that new order. But all of your payment history stays right where it was. So suddenly your payments for debt 3 might be sitting under the header for new debt, and that's not helpful. So I would recommend starting fresh. I know it's painful to lose your tracking history. I know you've worked hard and you want to see that progress, but it's the easiest way to deal with it. If you really want to keep your history, you could save a copy of your current spreadsheet and then start fresh with the new debt included. That way you have both. Question 7, how do I handle debts that don't have minimum payments, like medical bills or money that I owe my parents? For these informal debts, you get to decide what the minimum payment is. Maybe it's what you've agreed to pay monthly, or maybe it's just what you think you should pay to keep the relationship good. For medical bills, even if there's no minimum, I'd put something down. Even $25 a month shows that you're trying. For family loans, have an honest conversation about expectations. Then put that amount as your minimum. The spreadsheet doesn't care if it's a required minimum or not. It just needs to know what you're planning to pay. Question 8, the dates seem wrong. It shows a date from last year and we're already past that. So this usually happens because you still have one of the example debts in your spreadsheet. When you first open the spreadsheet, I put a couple of example debts in there just to show what they should look like. So go back to the State My Situation tab and delete any rows that aren't your actual debts. The spreadsheet uses the earliest due date as the starting point for all of its calculations. So if there's an old example date in there, it'll throw everything off. Question 9, can I use this for weekly or biweekly payments instead of monthly? Definitely. Even though the Tracking tab is set up to work monthly, you can still enter payments as often as you want. It's the same technique as making multiple payments. Double-click into the payment cell, type equals, and then add your payments together. So if you made one payment of $95 and one payment of $50, you just type that in, and then it adds it up for you. Then just check your actual balance after that second payment. Delete what you had in there for the balance before and enter a new amount. Question 10, can I have an unlocked version of the spreadsheet? Yes, you can, but I don't know if it will help fix the things that you're trying to change. I locked it mostly because the spreadsheet is easy to break. The formulas are crazy complicated and there's a lot of them, like over 10,000 for each debt. This spreadsheet handles up to 20 debts. I've got one that can go up to 40, but it starts to get slow with that many. If you need the one that can handle 40, just email me. So yes, I can give you an unlocked version, just be careful with it. That covers most of the questions I get. I'm excited that you made it this far in the video. The spreadsheet isn't magic. It's not going to make money out of thin air. What it is going to do is show you the truth. And sometimes the truth is hard to look at. It's also going to show you that getting out of debt takes time. When you see that debt-free date and it's 3, 4, 5 years a day, that can feel overwhelming. But those years are going to pass anyway. The only question is whether you'll be debt-free at the end of them or still feeling overwhelmed. Some months are going to be harder than others. Some months you might go backwards. Some months you might wonder why you're even trying. I've been there. We've all been there. But most importantly, I hope that seeing all of this gives you some hope. There is a way out, and you can do this. One payment at a time, 1 month at a time. So take a few minutes right now while you're motivated to enter your real numbers, all of them, even the scary ones. Because once you see that debt-free date, once you have an actual plan with your actual numbers, something changes. It stops being this nebulous cloud of something scary hanging over your head, and it starts being a problem with a solution. We're a nonprofit doing this because we believe everyone deserves to have the right to live without the weight of debt. We believe you deserve to budget happy and live free from financial stress. If this spreadsheet helps you, please share it with someone else who needs it. And when you hit that debt-free date, send us an email. We love hearing success stories. They remind us of why we do this. Now stop watching this video and go get those numbers entered. Your future self will thank you for starting right now.